loud? Yeah, I'm here because there's an urgency. There's an urgency to get the community and the homeless people together and to talk and to become one community again. There's a divide between the community and the homeless people, and it's causing trouble. It's causing a lot of trouble for everybody. Nobody knows what to do about it. And so I'm here saying that we need to stand up together and talk. We need to sit down and talk about these solutions. There's an urgency here. This problem is getting worse and nobody seems to know what to do. There are solutions. So we have to come together and find them. We have to do it. That's what I'm standing here for. That's the reason. There's a big urgency.
Hi, I'm Angela Berkfield, and I'm with the Root Social Justice Center in Brattleboro, and I'm here today in solidarity with the homeless, people who are in Brattleboro who don't have homes, some who are in parks, and many people who are couch surfing and around and don't have a place to live. There's a lack of affordable housing, and we're hurting right now. And so, as a community, we need to have an open, honest conversation and not turn people who are homeless into criminals, but to really think about how to structure our community in a way that is a place where everyone can live and have their needs met. That's a community that's best for everyone. So I'm here today in solidarity, standing with the people who are struggling, and also part of an ongoing conversation about how we can really restructure our community.
Can you talk to me about, did you know about the compassionate charter? We are a compassionate town. Show some compassion. Can you say something about that?
Yeah, I think that really thinking about homelessness as something that could happen to me, that I'm not immune from this crisis, that if I have a medical emergency and can't pay my bills, I could be on the street also, or a good friend of mine, or a family member. And so this is something that impacts all of us. This isn't about somebody else. And for the people who are experiencing it right now, that's like family to me. They're like kin. And so I want to act with compassion, feel compassion, and our town has said that they want to do that too. So that means that police are not arresting people for being homeless. That's not compassion. It goes against what our town believes.
My name is Kelly, and I've lived in Brattleboro for 6 years, and I see the way that this town talks about and treats homeless people, and it is absolutely shameful. And you can see from the messages that are on people's signs right now, like, why do you hate, and homelessness is not a choice, and homeless lives equal human lives, that the humanity of people who are homeless is being denied by the powerful forces in this town. And this action is long overdue to say that people who are living on the streets are human beings, and that our first priority for them should be housing, dignity, and respect, which is what they are asking for.
Yeah, homelessness is, you have to deal with any kind of weather, and then you have to deal with some of the cops that don't sometimes like us. You have to find places to sleep, and we don't have too many places to go. And it's hard when you want to find resources and there ain't many resources around. So, what else do I want to say? But I manage it every day to try to get what I need, because you have to struggle to get what you need. I do panhandle, I do. So.
Where do you sleep?
I sleep here, there, and everywhere. On the street, and on friends' couches, or somewhere where I can find a dry spot or a place to lay my head.
Do you think that your condition will get better and that you will be housing? What would
Hopefully.
you need? What is
What
tell
do I
me-
need?
Okay, can you walk a little farther out? Okay. Tell me, what will help you? I know housing is important. Tell
Housing.
me what else?
What
What will you need so you won't be on the street, sleeping on the street in all kinds of weather?
I think we need a year-round shelter. That's what we need. So, and I think that's what we really need. And if not that, apartment. Find places that you could renovate for homeless people, so at least to have a good room for a while. So.
And being homeless does not discriminate against anybody.
Right.
Anybody can become homeless in a heartbeat.
Right.
Anybody.
Yep.
And it's the same out here for all of us when we're homeless. The only thing we have is the other homeless people, because most people discriminate against us. And we're out here saying that we're Americans too, and we have rights just the same as everybody else in a house.
There you go.
And all we want is respect from our community and dignity, instead of throwing cups or drinks at us or telling us that we need to go get a job. Because trust us, some of us have tried to get a job, but quite a few of us are unable to have jobs because of our disabilities or whatnot. But we're out here, we're trying to just let people know we're here, we're not going to go anywhere, and we need help. That's what we're out here throwing this strike, not a strike, what is this called?
It's a protest.
This protest for. Thank you. You have a great day.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone in our community needs to be able to access all of our spaces. That's what they're for. That's what the public means. It means public space for the entire public, our entire community. And for me, that's the bare minimum. Then we can talk about bathrooms and housing and dignity and pay, but it needs to start with the entire public having access to public spaces, and I think that's why we're here today. Thank you.
I'm here at the Homeless Revolution, which is being led by people experiencing homelessness. It is time for us to make a housing first model in this area. It's time for us to treat people who are experiencing homelessness with dignity and respect. It is time for us to make sure that we are creating safe and strong, powerful solutions that include the voices of people who are actually experiencing the problem right here. And there was a really great turnout, and we need to keep allowing ourselves to be led by the people who are experiencing homelessness and not trying to solve it for them, but rather with them.
I'm here because we have to find some sort of solution. And it rains. I'm here because we have to find some sort of solution for the problem of homelessness in Brattleboro. I don't know what it is, and I'm probably not the best one to come up with ideas. But I'm here to support those who are working on it and are coming up with those ideas. I am.
Oh yeah.
And they don't need to be. We gotta tell them that. We gotta show them that. They don't need to be afraid. There's no reason for it. We just want to solve these problems. Okay? We want to be out of the public eye too. We don't want to be like this. We don't want to be scrutinized by the public constantly all the time.
Is
Yeah,
doing
we don't want
apprenticeship with
we don't want any of it.
I know.
I am.
That's who had the dye your building. Oh yeah, no, it was so cool. Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, my name is James Douglas. Been in Brattleboro for about 3 years, homeless. And back on July 11th of this year, just a few weeks back, I was arrested on this bench. I was sleeping on this bench and I was arrested for trespassing. Now, my intent wasn't to do anything, to start anything other than a dialogue with the community to try and fix the homeless problem in the community. But when I was arrested, after I was arrested and put in jail for 12 hours, and I finally got out of court and I'm back on the street again, somebody came up to me and handed me a phone number. It's one of those movie kind of scenes, you know, where they just said, never saw me, you don't know where you got the phone number from, just call it. And that started the homeless revolution. That phone number is what started it. I now have a partner that's working with me, and the two of us are running this homeless revolution at the moment. We hope to get it big enough that we need more people, because we have to stop the intimidation and the threats and the arrests, the constant citing for trespassing of the homeless people off of public property. That's the first thing that we want to do. We have to stop that. It's happening every single day. People are being trespassed off of public property. And then we want to be able to talk about solutions to this problem. We want to have a voice. We want the homeless people to have a voice, so that the solutions can be found rather than complaining. We don't think that anybody can find a solution without talking to us. And so that's our primary goal, is to get a voice in this community. Is first of all have all these citations, these trespass citations investigated. We want the police to investigate it. We want all this stuff investigated because our citations are all messed up. They're all full of mistakes. Some of us don't even know when we're supposed to go back to court. We don't get the proper communication. It's a mess. It's a really big mess. And we want it all investigated. And so we're going to call for that at the next Selectboard meeting. And then beyond that, we want to do something about getting the homeless people off the street. Just like the community wants them off the street. We want to be off the street. We want some place where we can have a life. We want our life back. And so that's why the homeless revolution exists. It's kind of a counter-revolution. Something happened that caused this. It's an epidemic, and so I'm trying to counter that. So I identify as a counter-revolution. I'm trying to stop it and change it, make it better.
Housing is important.
Yeah, housing is important, but not quite as important as my idea. My vision is to have a self-sustaining homeless community where everybody that works there helps themselves and everyone else. And it's run by the homeless, and it's sustained by the homeless. Housing, sure. These people can move on with their life when they're ready. But most of these people are not ready for housing. I just read another friend who just lost his housing. You know, he did okay for a couple of years, but he didn't have the follow-up that he needed in order to be able to live his life properly. And now he's back out on the street again. That happens a lot. And so housing, yes, important, extremely important. And for some of these people, it's all they need. But for some of them, they need a whole lot more. And so that's why I have this idea of a homeless community where they can come and live and work for 2, 3, 4 years if necessary. And then when they're comfortable, they can go out and live their life again. And they learn. Once they've learned how to live life again. There's a lot of these people need this. And it's not here, it's not available for them. They're all looking for some hope. I think that would work. I'm not talking about creating a new shelter. That's not what I'm talking about at all. We don't need shelter. We need a home. And so I would like to see a place for 100 people to live. An actual home where they can live their life like normal people until they learn the skills necessary to live a normal life, and then they can move on. Some will move on faster than others. Some will stay because they want to help. Every opportunity will be there. Every opportunity. That's the idea that I want to pitch to the community. And I even have funding ideas. I'm not asking for anything. I don't want the community to give us anything for nothing. I want them to help us help ourselves. That's what I want. I want the community to help us help ourselves. That's all I'm asking for. And I think that once they understand that, I think that we can move forward and start getting some of these things in place. I want people to be able to learn whatever it is that they want to learn, because I know that Brattleboro has all of the things necessary to heal this community. Brattleboro has it. This is a very unique town, and they're full of talent and skill and compassion and desire to help. It's all there. So that's why I put out the call in the first place, because I knew it would come back positive. I knew it. And so yes, there's some negative things because people don't understand. But that's okay. They will eventually. They'll come around once they begin to understand. Then the whole community can come together and we can change things. I don't see why we can't. If everybody donated their own talent, we could change this town in a short time, in a very short time. Yes, I'm excited about this because it's already gotten bigger than I am. I have confidence that it's all going to happen. I have no doubt about it. I get up every day with confidence. I get up every day feeling happy because I know that something has begun here it's bigger than I am, and so it's going to happen. I'm sitting back watching it. It's what I'm doing. And I live in a tent, and yet I'm organizing something like this. It's mind-boggling to think about it. But it's because it's bigger than me. That's why. It's bigger than I am. Much bigger. I'm just riding the wave. That's what I'm doing. I'm riding the wave. Yep. I just started it. I made the splash and now I'm riding the wave. That's all I'm doing. I think I'm done. Now, because of the citations that these people are getting, they're all being fined, and because they can't pay the fine, what's happening is that it's being put towards their credit as an unpaid bill.
That's the homeless, right?
That's the homeless people. That's happening to them. And so what's happening is that they're having long-term consequences for these minor little charges that shouldn't even be happening at all. These are long-term, lifelong things, consequences that's going to happen to them when they decide that they want to go buy a car, for instance, because they want to get their life together. They're not going to be able to because the court has created a bad credit for the certain situation for them. It's a long-term issue that really needs to be addressed. Really needs to be addressed. I don't know how these people can overcome this stuff. How can they possibly overcome all of it? They can't pay any of it, but they're being told that they have to suffer the consequences otherwise anyway, which is lifelong for them, lifelong credit problems, because they got a citation for trespassing on a public property over and over and over again, and now they have lifelong credit problems. That doesn't make sense. Vermont says that they don't have a debtor's prison. Well, they certainly are putting these people in prison. They're giving these people debt, and they're in prison for it. They can't move ahead in their life when they're like that. How can they? They're in prison. They're stuck right where they are now. Stuck. Because of the way Vermont has handled these legal issues for the homeless. It's making it more difficult for them.
What do you think should be done?
Excuse me?
What do you think should be done?
Well, first of all, the no trespassing ordinance should be thrown out. It's unconstitutional. It's cruel and unusual punishment to kick somebody off of public property when they have no place else to go. They have an ordinance here that there's no public camping on public property here. Well, where is a homeless person supposed to lay their head? That's not legal. The Constitution says that if you kick somebody off the property when they have no place else to go, it's cruel and unusual punishment. I'm not gonna allow that to continue to happen anymore. That's what has to happen. That's why we're pressuring these people as much as we are. Because when people come here, or when people end up homeless and they're already here, and they come looking for a tent, and they come looking for a place to go, you know what they have to be told? They have to be told that there's no legal place for you to pitch that tent. And that that tent could be taken down and you could be put in jail at any time. We have to tell people that, because that's the truth. All of their belongings could be taken from them and they could be put in jail because they pitched a tent on public property. That's the law here in Brattleboro. That's the ordinance. That's the way it is. There's no legal place to camp here. No legal place. And so they're ruining people's lives. They're completely ruining them over these silly little ordinances. If people are actually doing something against the law, then arrest them for that. Don't trespass them or take all of their belongings away from them and ruin their lives even more because they don't have any place else to go. They're not criminals. Homeless people are not criminals. They behave, they have criminal behavior occasionally, but they're not criminals because they're homeless. They should not be treated that way. If they're doing some criminal behavior, then arrest them for it. Don't bother them if they're not. They're not. Don't bother them. That's why I got pulled off this bench, because I'm homeless and a criminal apparently. I wasn't doing anything illegal, not one single thing. Not one thing was I doing illegal. I was laying my head because I had no place else to lay it. That's illegal in Brattleboro. That's enough. I've had it. I've had it. That's not illegal. Our Constitution says otherwise. I have a lot to say. I'll be saying a lot of it at our next speaking engagement. Yeah, I've been doing this for a long time. I'm done with it. I'm ready to fight. I'm ready. The 8th Amendment. It's got to be upheld. There was a ruling in Burlington about this, but I don't really know what the outcome was. Do you? No? I don't think it was as good as it should have been. But I'll have to look to find out for sure. It needs to be better. They can't continue to do this. They say that they want to help. And if they want to help, then they'll listen. If they don't want to help, then they won't hear anything that we have to say. We'll find out soon enough. Because we're forcing them to listen. We'll find out.
These green hills and silver waters are my home. They belong to me and to all of her sons and daughters. May they be strong and daughters.